Okay, so here we are at the point of finishing the plates. We're going to use some silicon, some clear transparent silicon, which we would use for caulking, some low odor white spirit, a paper cup, a stirring thing. It's just simple things to get these plates done. So I'm just going to scoosh some of the sticky thick silicon into a cup, and I want to, after I've finished that, I would click the trigger at the back of the gun to stop it squirting out. And then I'm going to just add in some low odor white spirit to dilute the silicon. So this takes a few minutes, and I just want to start with a small splash and sort of integrate it in, stir it around until it's gone into a sort of a slightly thinner consistency. And this is a bit messy. I'm in a bit of a rush here, it appears. But anyway, so this takes a minute, and what I'll do is I'll get it all coming together and then add a little bit more in. And I'll keep doing that until I've got it to the right consistency. Oops. So that's me being a messy technical guy. Anyway, so on it goes. So yeah, this is the silicon, which is the thing that makes it a waterless process. Traditional lithography is a process where you draw with greasy materials, and then using water and gum arabic, a wee splash more. Water and gum arabic, you create image and non-image areas, and when you wet or damp the stone and roll ink over it, the ink only sticks to the greasy or drawn parts of the image, the stone or the plate. But with waterless lithography, the silicon is non-paintable. So it means that when you roll ink over it, it won't adhere to where the silicon is. And where your drawing image or image is or was, that's where the ink will stick. So the ink's going to stick to the exposed plate at the end of the day, and the silicon is going to create a mask which will reject the ink. It's all a bit lovely and magical, and always gets a bit of an ooh and an ah when doing demonstrations. But anyway, so you just have to be a bit patient with this part of the process, and you need to get it right. The silicon has to become runny, the consistency of maybe a runny honey, or even double cream, something pourable but not watery. So there's, I've never worked out the exact proportions of silicon to white spirit, but a little dash at a time and a bit of experience, and before you know it, you'll be able to get it right. Although when you come to the workshop in these new times, these new normal times, then we'll be preparing this kind of stuff beforehand and working out how we get your plates made. So there we go, another dash, and it's just getting to that point where when I hold the lollipop stick up, it runs off it in a nice pourable fashion. I could speak more about the silicon, and I will in a minute. Yeah, this whole process was devised by a man called Nick Seminoff, who worked in the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatoon, and I'll write up some stuff about him, give you links to his websites. So here we are, this is the toner plate, and I bonded the stuff so it's stuck. And there's the drawn plate, don't have to bond that, that's just fine as it is, as is the same with the transferred plate that isn't needing to be bonded with just the toner. And so I'm going to take my silicon and a tissue that's been folded up and pour on pour on some of this silicone. Now if it was too thick, it would be very difficult to wipe it around at this point, so it needs to be the right consistency. So it's getting wiped all over the plate and all over and into the drawing. The toner shouldn't be thick, so it's not got a texture, but you need to rub it into that drawing, get it in all the nooks and crannies. And then you could turn the tissue over, you might find a slightly drier part, and you're wanting to start wiping the silicone back or away. You can put that lit there for the next plate and use it and recycle it. There's a fresh tissue, and I'm just going to start wiping back a folded up tissue right across the plate to wipe away all that excess. Turn it over and do it the other way. And I want to do this until basically it's really quite smooth. You can't see the silicone. You might see a few sort of little ripples, but you want to be able to, it will still look a bit wet, but basically it's all been wiped away. It's a very thin layer. And for the final part of this, we're just going to get a knackered old sponge and a manky sponge and a tissue, and wrap the tissue around that nice manky soft sponge and use that to polish the plate. So the plate, once it's polished, you shouldn't see that the silicone. The silicone's just a micro thin film that's tightly polished onto the plate. So like that, it's a thing of beauty. It shouldn't be sticky in any way, just a nice polished plate. So there's the 3 finished plates. They're best if they're left to sit for, well, I like to think you draw or make your plates one day and you print another, so that you've got plenty of time for that silicone layer to really cure up and not to get easily damaged with the next process of printing. So pretty good. Nice. Super. Okay, so next thing, printing.